I just don't need it rubbing against the belt if it does crank over, which I think it is. I'm confident this extra gas is going to fire this thing up. All right, now that the NSX is done, I'm working on some other cars. It's time to take a road trip. I scored another car, and I've got two guys, and between the three of us, we've got millions of dollars worth of cars, but we're taking this $1,000 Mercedes down to Washington, D.C. to pick up a barn find car, which I'm excited. I want to call it, barn find's used a lot. I'm gonna use it. I've got my little starter kit because the thing is, we're gonna try to drive it back, and if not, we'll have to tow it. But I've got my tools here. This, if the tires go bad, because the tires aren't so good, this is for some air, this is for some gas, this is a new battery. It was a one-owner car from 1995 that's been parked in this dude's driveway for years. The father passed away. I'm purchasing it. We're gonna try to get it back here. And well, you know, let's leave a little bit to the imagination. It's not in the best part of DC, but we should survive. If anything, I could throw some lug nuts at people to protect myself. And yeah, watch that. Ready? Ready? Oh. My car's so ghetto, I need to use this little locking key here. It's a little emergency key. So we're out of here. When we come back, well, I guess we'll wrap the video here too. But we're gonna try to get this car up here. We gotta see if this car even makes it down, but it'll be an interesting day, to say the least. That was unexpected. We're in Delaware now, and visit workshop. I'm going to keep an eye on that temperature gauge on the right, because if that temperature gauge starts spiking, that means I throw a belt, which would be an issue. If not, I feel like the cycle of the battery is going to take care of that. We're going to turn off Sade or whatever the heck this is. All right, wish us luck. Luckily, we're coming up on the Chesapeake rest area. So watch that temperature gauge. We got good airflow right now. That's good. Maryland, hello. All right, just pop the hood, make sure everything's okay. We do have a belt. See, that's good. We also have a I would say, I think it's a rat's nest or a bird's nest. It's probably a bird's nest, but it's a rat's nest? No kidding. All right, makes sense, I guess. All right, but everything else seems okay. Alternator stop vehicle. Temperature's still good. So yeah, slight problems, but we're still fully operational at the moment. How far till we get there, Siobhan?
22 miles.
22 miles. Wish me luck. All right, we just made it to the car, and we've got the stuff that doesn't go away. None of these go away. And the car seems to be running a little rough. But good news is, there is a Toyota Supra that's been sitting there collecting pollen for years. Here it is. what I would consider a barn find Supra, one owner, 143,000 miles, and now it's mine. I think it's got a little latch inside. So it is an automatic, does need a little bit of love, but I think with a car wash, this thing will look pretty good. So now we're gonna try the revival methods. Some gas, a battery, and see what happens. Maybe not. All right, so we're at the point where the car died here. It has given up completely. And the Supra doesn't work either, so now I have two bad cars in somebody else's driveway, and I'm gonna have to make something of this. You can tell I got like my Keeps hair growing in here, so yeah, we'll get used to it. We'll figure it out. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the battery I just brought for the Supra, put it in the Mercedes, try to get to AutoZone, get another battery, get some more gas, because that car still says it's low on gas. And maybe we'll be lucky. Maybe we're gonna AAA. I'm gonna AAA now because this thing's broken. At least one of them is probably gonna need to be towed out of here.
Hey Rob, what are you doing?
What's that?
What are you doing?
Taking the battery out.
Why are you taking the battery out?
Hey, you know, the battery died. I think it's the alternator, but changing the alternator is a pain in the ass.
So you're gonna take that big battery and replace it with this
small one?
Well,
I'm gonna try replacing it with a small one to get us to where we're going.
And where are we going?
To AutoZone to stack up a trunk full of batteries. And we're gonna try to make this thing like a Tesla.
Nice.
So I'm gonna get lots of batteries, and we're gonna try to get this back to New York. That one, the Supra I just bought, isn't starting, but it's cranking very well. It's reading negative gas, so I only put this, which is about 1.5 gallons. So I'm gonna try that a couple of times and see, maybe, just maybe, we'll get that thing going.
Brandon, what is that, tampon?
That's a toothbrush.
Now, the chances of us driving both of these back to New York, probably not looking so good, but we should be able to get one of them going. All right, so we've got the Supra, the new Supra battery in the Mercedes to get the Mercedes going, and it's still giving me a battery warning, which means the alternator is bad on this car, and it's going to just drain this battery. It's a problem. So I'm gonna go to AutoZone, probably drop $1,000 on batteries and see how far that'll get me. Fun times. Luckily the battery swap in this thing is it's pretty quick.
Where are we?
AutoZone, not in the ghetto. The woman was like, don't go to the one in the ghetto, make a left. And make a right. When somebody tells me not to go to somewhere in the ghetto, I believe them. Like, I'm like, all right, cool, I'll go over to this one. And it's the lovely AutoZone. It just doesn't look like it's open yet. This looks like it's a bunch of bare shelves Biden here. Wow. All right, next AutoZone, I guess.
I can't really see it.
Too soon, Junior. That is an unopened AutoZone. Gas battery, cross fingers. Now, even if we limp that home, we're gonna try to minimize our use of electricity. And doing so, we're gonna be driving through light thunderstorms later. So that's gonna be fun. And tornado warnings.
You have the key?
Key, big key. This is a good before picture what this engine bay looks like.
Yo, this handle's about to
You know, if you were a little less judgy, that'll be good right about now. Need some words of comfort. Like, hey Rob, cool car. Thanks. No, the door's unlocked. Just open it. See?
Oh, I should have got that on film. Close it again. No, don't close it again. Don't want the door to fall off. We have a car with no windows and we have a car with no doors.
This car needs a Larry Casilla.
Needs a what?
Larry Casilla. Good video, like barn find Supra brought back to life. Now the problem is this is,
What is that?
it's just a
Piece of paper?
thing that goes around the battery. It's just in the way.
Just take it out. You're gonna have to get a new one anyway.
Nah, I mean, I'll just do that. There you go. I just don't need it rubbing against the belt if it does crank over, which I think it is. I'm confident this extra gas gonna fire this thing up. All right, moment of truth. We now have 3-ish gallons, 3.5 gallons maybe in the car. And even with the new battery, the seat doesn't move, which is a definite problem. All right, definitely got some, I don't even hear a fuel pump, but I guess mine's loud. This little patch on the door.
Where's the fuse panel on this
I
car?
smell fuel now, which is good.
Where's the fuse panel? Because you're right, I don't hear the fuel pump priming.
I smell the fuel. Okay, good. All right, so I smell the fuel, but I guess that's what the seat's gonna say. I smell the fuel, but it's not. All right, this. She's gonna need some love, guys. The door is like literally wood screwed on. This little flap here, I don't know what this little love flap is to patch the door. This zip tie on the mirror usually means it's holding the mirror on. The seat is just permanent relax mode. Come on. Ignition leaves a little bit to be desired. All right, so the spare tire was not needed, and where this car has rested for quite some time is going to change. So let's see what happens. A little bit of body damage on the bottom there, not the end of the world. Otherwise, it's a relatively clean car, especially for having 141,000 miles on it. The engine turns over but doesn't start. Could be a fuel pump, could be something like that. But this car is not going to live in this condition for very long. Stock turbo Supra, which may have things living in it because it's been parked out here for a hot minute, but you'll be surprised what some tires, a detail, and some fixes will do to this thing. But I'll figure out the game plan with it momentarily. Right now, I'm in DC, trying to figure out how to get 2 cars, which are not moving on their own power, back to New York.
Alright, 1, 2, 3. You want to get in there? Yeah, hold on. Hop in.
It's dragging something.
Yeah. No, it's leaves, but there's like, they've been trying to work on the car, because maybe sockets and shit on the bottom of the car. Still works. Oh, it doesn't stop though.
You want to try and give it? Oh, it's not a manual.
Turn.
I'm turning.
You're gonna hit some rocks.
Nope, keep going. Yep, keep turning.
Full on.
Yep. All right, you're good. Straighten it out. Start cutting it. Other way, other way, other way. We're not gonna be able to push it up the hill, so you better get that right.
Cut, hard cut.
Is that the hardest you got?
All the way.
All right. No brakes, no brakes. Hold on, straight. Stop. Okay, we're in a little bit of a jam here.
What?
You got this thing.
The rock?
But this is a dirt hill.
Yeah, I think, well, we're not gonna push it up the hill.
You got, no, I know, we didn't cut fast enough.
Well, that was you
Well,
back
thanks
there.
for helping, Mr.
All right, Brandon,
Holder.
cut again.
Which way?
Cut, right hand down. Yep.
I can't push this thing.
No, you're not pushing it. Right hand down. Okay. Keep going.
You're gonna hit
And brake. Don't worry about the rock. Brake off. Keep going. Keep going. Straighten wheel now. Straight, you're good? What, are you using the brake?
Yeah, I'm not trying to hit a rock.
No, don't worry about the rock.
You're gonna it's gonna. He's redoing the car anyway. What does he care?
Easy there with the, everybody cares. Go. Oh, you stopped? Oh, you're in a wedge, right? Somebody took the Toyota logo off.
All right.
I'm cutting over, right?
You will
Yeah.
cut, yeah.
He just goes down into the ditch.
Good, turn it. That works. All right, I'll be honest. My plan to get the Supra and bring it back didn't quite go the way I envisioned it. So the game plan now is I left the keys under the floor mat because the tow company says they're not going to be here till 9 o'clock, and since it doesn't start anyway, it's not like anyone's going to get away with it. I dropped one of my air tags in there so I have tracking on it whenever I want to find it. And now we'll wait for the tow truck company to come, scoop it up, and bring it up north for me. It was a valiant effort, but I think a little too optimistic. But it would have been fun to drive this thing into a car wash. And I mean, the tires are rotted, but it would have been a good effort to try to get it north. And this is the former home. I guess it's like, oh, there's a lot of worms under this. Thing's been there for a hot minute. And gotta give them their socket there. All right, so off to a new home. As I said, a barn find technically requires a barn. This is not a barn, but it definitely has been left to be treated by time, and now it is mine, and it will be treated by Mo and some other people. But yeah, there she is. Is that a Supra? Now the question is, what do I do with my other one? Ominous way to leave it, but the question is, am I gonna make it home in that thing? There's so many questions right now, and we will find out soon enough. All right, let's get on the road.